Hey folks, in times when the gap between poverty and wealth is drifting farther and farther apart, here's an extremely exciting topic that we'll get to the bottom of today. What if there were no rich and no poor? Let's go. Number 5. Rich and poor. In virtually all countries of the world, income and wealth are unevenly distributed. Some are incredibly rich, while others have very little money or are even starving. Pretty unfair considering that there are people who only save their money and have so much that they could never spend it. I really wonder how one of these people can sleep at night with a clear conscience. The problem is that the wealth of one person is always built on the suffering of others. For example, in the production of clothing, the more the head of the company takes, the less money there is for the sellers and the manufacturers of the product. Number 4. The problem. The big problem is that the gap between rich and poor keeps growing. The poor get poorer and the middle class is slipping into poverty, but the rich are getting richer and richer. Today we have arrived at a point where only a few people can actually buy apartments or houses, and therefore rental costs keep going up and up. You can see it here too. The rich and poor keep drifting further apart. Number 3. Where does this lead? Although the whole thing is still going well, this drift between rich and poor will eventually lead to more problems. It could also come to riots and civil wars. Just as poorer countries try to gain land and resources from richer countries through attacks, this too can happen within one country. Logically, there may come a point when the 80% of people who can't afford anything anymore because of the inhumane expensive prices will try to get money from the remaining 20% rich people. With violence, of course, if necessary. It is therefore important that governments quickly find a solution and begin redistribution. Number 2. Possible solutions. Within a country, you can solve all the problems relatively easy by not only setting a cap on wages, but also a profit cap for companies. Everything that is generated above the limit of profit should not only go to the boss, but also be distributed to the employees. And last but not least, number 1. Why doesn't anything change? The problem is that the people who make these decisions often profit from the gap, and who wants to shoot themselves in the foot? Political parties are co-financed by companies and wealthy individuals, and our politicians too do not deserve to be compared to a geriatric nurse. To answer the actual question, if there were no longer any rich or poor, that would mean that all human beings have to be selfless. People would need to volunteer to work and no longer aspire for personal wealth. And that, dear friend, will probably never happen. There will always be people who want to profit from and destroy the system of equality. Yeah, well, what's your opinion on the topic? Why don't you write it down below in the comments, and if you like this video, check out another one here. Until next time, bye!